Hi everyone, the small engine mechanic here. Today we are going to replace the governor spring and the throttle return spring on this pressure washer. The throttle return spring part number is 16562Z4M000 and the governor spring part number is 16561Z4M010. To replace these, we will need to remove the air filter cover and filter. Then the carburetor intake housing. Both of these springs looks like they got caught in a hurricane, all twisted up. Next we're going to remove the fuel tank by first removing these two nuts. Then we'll remove the inner fuel tank hold down bolt, located here. Sometimes you will need to use a ratchet to break it loose. But once loose, you can use a screw gun to remove the bolt quicker. Next, we're going to slowly lift up on the fuel tank until it is clear from the hold down. Do not lift too far because there is a fuel line connected to the bottom of this tank. Someone wounded the governor spring around the manual throttle. Finally, I got it off. Now, we're going to slowly pull the carburetor out so we can disconnect the throttle linkage. Now this will give us room and make it easier to remove the old throttle return spring. This is definitely a mess of springs. Now we can reinstall the governor spring to the governor arm. And connect the opposite end to the manual throttle arm. This may be a little difficult, so you will need to stretch the spring to get it to connect. Once connected, we can check for smooth operation. Now we are going to install the carburetor linkage return spring. There is a small hole located on the governor arm just after the carburetor linkage. To install the spring, you only need to slide it over the throttle linkage and hook one end into the governor arm. Then reconnect the other end onto the throttle of the carburetor. Once in place, using a pair of needle nose pliers you can connect the throttle linkage return spring to the tiny hole on the governor arm. Then to the carburetor. Now that the springs and linkages have been reconnected, we can now put the air filter housing back on. Then reinstall the fuel tank back into its hold down position. Install the fuel tank's inner bolt and tighten it down. Then tighten down the carburetor air filter housing. Reinstall the two fuel tank nuts. Now we replace the air filter and air filter cover. Remember to turn the fuel valve back to the on position. Then choke in full choke position. Now, we are ready to test run the pressure washer. Never attempt to run a pressure washer without water flowing through the pump. The engine started and sounds like it's running very well. But I just noticed, there is a leak underneath the pump. That's not good because the location it's leaking from is where the high pressure seals are located. So now we are going to remove the pump's manifold to see if there is any damage to the ceramic plungers that could have been causing the leak. Using a 6mm Allen, remove all 8 of the manifold bolts. Make sure if you pull the bolts that the washer comes with it. Once the bolts have been removed, you can slowly rock the pump manifold away from the pump. This is never a good sign. There is a rust ring around the ceramic which is caused by not winterizing and leaving old mineralized water in the pump. We need to inspect the ceramic plungers for any cracks. Now we are going to rotate the engine over solely to check to make sure that the ceramic plungers are pushing in and out. So far they look good. Now, looking at the manifold, you can see where the water has been leaking out of the center one more than the others. These seals will need to be replaced. Most of the damage to the pump could have been prevented by simply using a pump saver like the Briggs and Stratton version here. So, if the owner wants to replace these seals, then we will have a continuation video. If not, then, with that being said, it looks like another one is good to go.